Good morning, good morning, good morning, Patriots. I've got an interesting topic to talk to you about today. As you're jumping on, let me know that you're out there because I can't see you. So if you'll just comment, I'll know you're there. And I'd like to say hi. If you're watching on a rerun, let me know that too. Let me know where you're watching from. This is Mike Cook coming to you live from Central Missouri. To all my Patriot friends, brothers, and sisters out there, I hope you're having a great day no matter where you're at. It looks like it's going to be beautiful this week in the central United States, which, it's God's country, so why not be? So I want to talk to you about something. I want to talk to you about George Washington, our founding father, our president, the general of the armies of the Potomac, genius, hero, whatever you want to call him. I found something the other day. It turns out he's also a prophet. I know that might blow your mind, but I mean a prophet like Daniel or prophets like John, who actually had a visitation to tell him what's happening in the future. Hey, Rob, how are you doing? And it was very interesting to me to learn about what this has to say and how it applies to what's going on even today, possibly. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a prophet. I can't predict the future, and I'm not going to try to pretend to interpret this 100%. I'm going to read it to you entirely, so bear with me. It's not that long. I've got a bunch of papers in my hand, but it's printed big so my blind butt can see it. This was originally printed in the Washington's Writings, Volume 1, Letter to Augustine Washington, July 18, 1755. It was reprinted in the U.S. War Veterans newspaper, the National Tribune, in December 1880. The National Tribune later became the Stars and Stripes, and it was printed later after it became the Stars and Stripes. So this is basically a visitation that George Washington had while it was just after the Battle of Concord, I believe. At this point in the American Revolution, the Americans are beginning their butts kicked by every turn. They were taking on the largest, most powerful country in the world, Great Britain, who at that time, the saying was that the sun never sets on the empire. They had resources around the world. They had an armada of ships. They had military. They had everything. The British at the time were involved in a world war against France, and we were kind of part of that. And we were getting our butts kicked. Every turn we would lose. At this moment, he was a desperate man. He was also a God-fearing man, regardless of what the history books tell you. He would go off from his tree, like off into the bush or in the woods or whatever, and he would pray daily. And every day he would pray that God would give him just one more day. At this time, they've been getting such a licking that his military, his army, was dissolving around him. People were deserting. They were going home. A lot of them, they were signed up, conscripted for a year, and that year was about up. And most of his army was going to be gone within a month, and it was going to be the end of the war. After this is when he crossed the Delaware, and everything changed. But I'm just going to go ahead and read this to you. But he, in his habit to do, was in prayer, and on his own, he was taking care of some paperwork, and he was meditating, and he was thinking, and as he was accustomed to doing. And this is how it starts out. I do not know whether it is owning the anxiety of my mind or what, but this afternoon, as I was sitting at this table engaged in preparing a dispatch, something in the apartment seemed to disturb me. Looking up, I beheld standing opposite to me a singularly beautiful being. So astonished was I, for I had given strict orders not to be disturbed, that I was in some moments before I found language to inquire the cause of the visit. A second, a third, or even fourth time did I repeat my question, receiving no answer from my mysterious visitor except a slight raising of the eyes. By this time, I felt strange sensations spreading through me, as I would have risen, but the riveted gaze of the being before me rendered violation impossible. I tried once more to speak, but my tongue became useless as if paralyzed. A new influence, mysterious, potent, irresistible, took possession of me. All I could do was gaze steadily at the gaze steadily, vacantly at my unknown visitor. Gradually, the surrounding atmosphere seemed to fill with sensations and grew luminous. Everything about me seemed to rarefy. The mysterious visitor also became more airy and more distinct in my sight than before. I began to feel as if one dying, or rather, to experience the sensations I sometimes imagine accompanying death. I did not think, I did not reason, I did not move. All were like impossible. I only conscious of gazing fixedly, vacantly on my companion. Presently, I heard a voice say, "Son of the Republic, look and learn." And while at the same time my visitor extended his arm eastward, I now beheld a heavy white vapor at some distance rising fold upon fold. This gradually dissipated, and I looked upon a strange scene. Before me lay, out in one vast plain, all the countries of the world: Europe, Asia, Africa, and America. I saw rolling and tossing between Europe and America lay billows of the Atlantic, and between Asia and America lay the Pacific. "Son of the Republic," said the same mysterious voice as before, "look and learn." At that moment, I beheld a dark, shadowy being, like an angel, standing, or rather floating in midair between Europe and America, dipping his water out of the ocean and into the hollow of each hand. He sprinkled some on America with his right hand, and while with his left he cast some over Europe. Immediately a cloud arose from the continent, from the countries, and joined in mid-ocean. For a while it remained stationary, and then it moved slowly westward until it enveloped America in its misty folds. Sharp flashes of lightning gleamed through at intervals, and I heard the smothered groans of the cries of the American people. A second time the angel dipped water from the ocean and sprinkled it out before the dark clouds that drew back the oceans, whose heavy billows, and it sank from view. This has been regarded as a prophecy of the American Revolution. A third time I heard the mysterious voice saying, "Son of the Republic, look and learn." And I cast my eyes upon America, and behold, villages and towns and cities sprang up, one right after another, until the whole land, from the Atlantic to the Pacific, was dotted with them. Again I heard a mysterious voice saying, "Son of the Republic, the end of the century cometh, and look and learn." At this, a dark, shadowy angel turned his face southward. From Africa, I saw an ill-omened spectra approach our land. It fitted slowly and heavily over every town and city, and later the inhabitants presently set themselves in battle array against each other. As I continued to look, I saw a bright angel on whose brow was traced the word Union. He was bearing the American flag, and he placed it between the divided nation and said, "Remember, ye are brethren." Instantly, the inhabitants, casting down their weapons, became friends once more, and united around the national standard. Many people believe that this was a prophecy 100 years from that time of the Civil War. And I continue. Again, I heard a mysterious voice saying, "Son of a Republic, look and learn." At this, a dark, shadowy angel placed his trumpet to his mouth, and he blew 3 distinct blasts. And taking the water from the ocean, he sprinkled it over Europe, Asia, and Africa. Then my eyes beheld a fearful scene. From each of these continents rose a thick black clouds that were soon joined as one. And throughout this mass there was gleamed a dark red light, by which I saw hordes of armed men. These men, moving with a cloud, marched by land and sailed by sea to America, which country was enveloped in their volume of the cloud. And I dimly saw these vast armies devastate the whole country and burn the villages, towns, and cities which I had seen spring up. As my ears listened to the thundering cannon and clashing of swords and the shouts and cries of millions in mortal combat, I heard the mysterious voice saying, "Son of Republic, look and learn." And when the voice had ceased, the dark, shadowy angel placed his trumpet to his mouth once more and blew a long, fearful blast. Instantly, a light, as if 1,000 suns, had shone down from above me and pierced and broke into the fragments of the dark cloud, which enveloped America. At that same moment, the angel upon whose head still shone the word Union, and who bore our national flag in one hand and a sword in the other, descended from the heavens, attended by legions of white spirits. These immediately joined the habits of America, who I perceived were well nigh overcome, but who immediately, taking courage again, closed their broken ranks and renewed the battle. Again, fearful of the conflict, I heard a mysterious voice say, "Son of the Republic, look and learn." As the voice ceased, a shadowy angel blew one last time. A shadowy angel for the last time dipped the water from the ocean and sprinkled it upon America. Instantly, the dark clouds rolled back, together with the armies it had brought, leaving the inhabitants of the land victorious. Once more, I beheld the villages, towns, cities springing up from where I had seen them, while the bright angel planting the azure standard cried with a loud voice, "While the stars remain and the heavens send down dew upon the earth, so long shall the Union last." Taking the crown from his bow, which blazed the word Union, he placed it down upon the standard, while the people, kneeling down, said amen. The scene instantly began to fade and dissolve, and left nothing but a rising, curling vapor I had first beheld. This also disappeared. I found myself one more gazing upon the mysterious visitor who, in the same voice I heard before, said, "Son of the Republic, what you have seen is thus interpreted. 3 great perils will come upon this republic. The most fearful for her will be the third, but the whole world united shall not prevail against her. Let every child of the republic learn to live for his God, his land, and his union." With these words, the vision vanished, and I started from my seat and felt that I had seen a vision wherein I'd been showed the birth, progress, and destiny of these United States. When I read that for the first time a couple days ago, I was shocked. Basically, that predicted the turnout of the Revolutionary War at the lowest time of our first president. Then it predicted 100 years later there would be a civil war. And pretty much that's what it was. But there's one more prediction at the end of that the whole world will rise up against the United States of America. It says that the shadow, which is conflict, I believe, war, that rises up out of Africa, Asia, and Europe to attack the United States, it said it joined the cloud that was already here, the cloud of war and discord that was already here. My friends, my patriot brothers and sisters, I don't know if you believe this kind of stuff, but this was written a long time ago. If you're not prepared for what's coming, and I don't know what's coming, but most of you who watch my videos probably have the same inkling in their heart that I have, that something's coming. Be prepared, be ready. This absolutely blew me away, this prophecy. It has changed what I believe is coming. I believed that we were having trouble from within, and I still do. I believe that our great country is on the precipice, that decisions are being made right now. We have a choice of a path that we can take. I believe that we, as God's people, those of us who have chosen to serve God, need to stand up and take this country back. For far too long, for the last 100 years, we have been told not to mix our politics with our preaching. We've been told separation of church and state, which doesn't exist anywhere in the Constitution. I will give $100 if somebody can flip open the Constitution, show me separation of church and state right now. I believe that God is calling you, Christian, to stand up and take this country back. Not only do we need to take this country back, but this vision, God doesn't send visions for faint. God doesn't send visions for jokes. He doesn't send visions for maybe. You crack open the Bible and you read about God's visions, the visions he gave Daniel, the visions he gave Ezekiel, the visions he gave John, the visions he gave David, the visions he gave Abraham. They're all very similar to what happened to George Washington. This country was founded on God. It was dedicated to God. It was the only one of two nations in the world that were formed in the history of man with God first, Israel and us. God has a destiny for us. I don't know what that is, but it's time we wake up. I hope you have a great day. If you want a copy of this, let me know. I think I can send it to you in a messenger or something. It is amazing. It is. You should read it 100 times, because if it doesn't wake you up and scare the pants off you for your children and your grandchildren, I don't know what will. So with that, I'm going to jump off here. I wish you all a great day. Please like, comment, and share my video. Someone else needs to hear this today. I'll talk to you later.